Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. 1 minute off the bottom of the hour. I wanted to be right at 5:30 Central Time. Didn't make it. All right, today, and this could be the last call for Jethro T Boots. Jethro T Boots, in other words, CVS Pharmacy's house bourbon versus Jack Daniel's Old Number 7. They've been making whiskey since about 1866. Some people would dispute that, but for a long time. Brown-Forman bought them out, what, 1956? 40 proof today. Used to be 90, then they dropped it to 86. Now it's 40. 80 proof, 40% alcohol. This is 80 proof. This particular item, I think, has been on the market since 2009, something like that. It's not important. It's private label bourbon made by the Sazerac Company. Now on the bottle they've listed as the Legacy Distilling Company, but that's one of those assumed names, which is allowed. You're allowed to have that. I'm going to try to set up a chat if anybody would be interested, perhaps. If Jethro T Boots loses today, then it's out. It already lost twice. Lost to Jim Beam, the original white label, and lost to Jim Beam Choice, the green label that was discontinued or is being discontinued this year, 2017. So Jethro T Boots. Who is Jethro T Boots? They say on the label he's a real person, died in 1921, born in 1841. Okay, so he lived to be 80 years old. Known by his friends as JT. I couldn't find out any information on this guy. But apparently he did have a role to play in the development of bourbon whiskey. Jack Daniels, that's his nickname, Jack. Okay. He died rather young, at a younger age due to an infection from an injury on his foot, of all things. All right, looking for the cap here. All right, should be set up. Max Walt, hi, Roland. Well, Ronald, that's okay. HQ Video Galore, that's David. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, David. Good morning, Max Walt. Joe says contract distilling, correct. And that's done for private label, and it's done for actual branded products. A lot of contract distilling. Okay. John and Nielsen, good morning, Ron. I'm pulling for the Jethro T Boots. I think it will give JD a run for its money. Well, let's hope so, or it's out the contest, out the tournament, so we'll see right now. Which is which? Let's see. Jack Daniels, and this is the Boots. Well, they look the same as far as appearance. No, I think the Boots is a little lighter. Well, it's still dark outside. By the time this goes off, the air or the cable, it should be daytime. That's why we call it Dawn Busters. All right. John and Neil said he doesn't like Jack Daniels. We did the old granddad bonded last night. He said he likes the Beam, doesn't like the Jack Daniels. It's too harsh or bold, as people say. But you got your Jack Daniels people, they're loyal. And you got your Jim Beam people, they're loyal and they don't affiliate. Okay, I think I've got it mixed up enough. Like the cars all mixed up. It's all mixed up. Okay, it's all mixed up. I have different things I need to do today, like cut the grass, but I might talk to William Kepley about doing that Judas Priest discussion, which may turn into a fight. But it'd be interesting. This is just straight alcohol burn, okay? That description I've used probably over a dozen times now. You cut your leg, you're waiting in the doctor's office for them to for the doctor to come in and stitch your leg, and you smell that antiseptic while you're waiting on that table, you know, that whatever they call it, doctor's table with the soft cushion vinyl covering. Yeah. There's some underneath wood, maybe vanilla, like we were talking about chewing on a toothpick type thing. Okay. I think I know already what it is, but I'll go here. Of course, alcohol burn. I mean, you know, it's alcohol, right? 40 proof, 80 proof, 40% alcohol. All right, okay. But this one has a little more candy sweetness in the aroma. And what did I say about the boots? It had that candy thing going, that sugary thing, which is fine on its own. If you're drinking it on its own, it's okay. But when you start putting it in competition, it doesn't seem to hold up, or at least it hasn't in my case. Well, taste time. This one has a lot of candy too. You know, right? Bourbon is 51% corn or higher. You ever eat sweet corn? You know it's sweet. Corn syrup comes from corn. That's the Karo syrup that's used to sweeten pecan pie, stuff like that. So what do you expect? I don't know. This one's presenting a stronger wood thing, wood component. Still the caramel type thing, a little bit candy. You see, the Jim Beam was easier because they have that distinctive greenwood and moss, and I call it cellar mold. And I've said that before. There's a lot of moss around here, a lot of mold, just mold. Everything gets mold on it in Louisiana because of the high humidity rate. Relative humidity is so high, and so, and then you got everybody's got sinus problems and blowing their nose all the time, whatever. That's why some people move out to Arizona to get in the drier air. But then of course you got to be putting cream, lotion on yourself all the time. Lip balm. You don't really need that too much around here because you're already moisturized from the moisture, the humidity. Oh, well, a lot of wood, especially here. There, even more so here. Which one's better? Ah. Maxwell, so what is your weather now? Temperature? Hot. It's very hot right here. Air conditioning units are straining and everything. I hope it is hot and the sun is shining when I cut the grass, because then you sweat a lot, get some bad humors out of your body. Also, it dries the grass up so nice and crispy that it'll cut easy. I mean, you just cut to that grass with no effort. It doesn't stress the lawnmower at all. You get that damp grass, it fills up with moisture, and it gets a lot tougher to cut. And that can change in an hour, you know, of course. So I like those. Of course, it hasn't rained in about a week, 5 days. So then you might have dust being kicked up everywhere. That's not so good. Then the lawnmower breathes it in. You got to clean the filter, and it gets clogged up. So good for it to rain. Then the next day get the dry grass, but then you don't have the dust. So that would be the optimum situation. Don't think I'll be dealing with optimum situation. And you've seen my videos in the backyard where the grass looks like shag carpet, like carpet. It is. It's no fertilizer necessary. If it's got decent sunlight, that alluvial soil, that sandy alluvial soil, it just self-fertilized, really. And that's not even it is very good soil. Even the better one is maybe out in the swamp. You get that, what they call it, coffee grind soil. It's like coffee grounds, black. And it's just right there. And that's why it's a jungle out there, like an actual jungle. A cypress wetlands. Which one's better? You know, I'm stalling for time, right? I got to call it a even tie. I got to call it a tie. Tie. A draw. It's a draw, which is shocking to me, really, because after the experience with the Jim Beam and the Jim Beam choice, I thought, that's it. Jethro T boots is going down. Didn't happen. I was doing a video. I posted a video on about the hoppy Belgian style golden ale from Sierra Nevada and Duvel Moutgat. And Dr. Dave was saying, I can tell by your face you don't really like it. You're just saying it's most excellent. You don't have to do that just to try to, whatever he was saying, to fit in with the craft beer. Go drink your macros. Well, I don't know what my face was showing. I watched the playback. Didn't seem to be anything unusual. Maybe I make unusual faces in general. I don't know. But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't get on a video and just lie and say, oh, it's so wonderful, just to like fit in or whatever. If I give something an A, it's because I think it's an A. If I give it a D, it's because I think it's bad. So I would see no purpose to do that. I could make a video channel like where I only reviewed really expensive, exceptionally high quality craft beers. Not regular craft beers, but the best. And then I could say, oh, this is wonderful, you know, this is fabulous. And then maybe on the worst case scenario, sometimes I might say, well, it's an A-, whatever. And that would be okay. Wouldn't prove a lot. It would just prove that if you bought a whole lot of high quality beers, lagers and ales, then you would have a continuous high quality experience, which you would expect. And then I could do also, on the other hand, to contra-wise, I could do a all macro channel where I only did cheaper beers, like run-of-the-mill products. And then I would say, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, this one is even excellent. And then, oh, this is bad. This is no good. If I was doing all those Trader Joe's store brands, which are not always bad, but oftentimes are. But that wouldn't really prove much either. It would just prove that if you drank a bunch of like cheap products, they would have a kind of much aggregate, lower, a lower quality aggregate score. I mean, would be fine. I just like to cover all of them, high, middle, lower. The grass loves the weather. Oh yeah. It really loves it. Video HQ video galore, message retracted. He was wondering why he was blocked. David was saying, I'm blocked, I can't comment. And I was thinking, I wouldn't have blocked him. But he might have said something in the past that was inappropriate or whatever. And so I blocked him. I was like, I don't need that on here. And then, so he might have retracted that because he might have said, oh, well, that's not, maybe I better watch it. I had a feeling this would happen, says John, at the price point. Jethro T boots is a much better value. Joe says, Dr. Dave says things sometimes to get a rise out of people. Yeah, and I think sometimes he's like testing people, sort of like to see if they'll take the bait or if they'll like overreact to something. And I'll do that too sometimes, just to test people. Not to be testy or to irritate them, but to test them, like in social media, like Facebook, whatever. You'll have people, and I've noticed this over the years, they'll say, oh, we should be friends on Facebook, whatever. And I say, well, yes, but I want to tell you up front that I have political views that you might find unpleasant or even outrageous. And they say, no, I'm very open-minded. But I'll notice the person is sort of on the left side of it, liberal, left-wing liberal. And I say, you sure you're open-minded? Oh, yes. But what I'll notice is that their content is always 100% that side. And then the people that they're discussing it with is 100% that side. Of course, naturally, people that say if you're conservative, you're going to affiliate with people who are like-minded in your thinking. People are religious, they're going to affiliate with religious people. If people are into cars, they're going to affiliate with people that are into cars. Maybe you got the customized people and you got the stock. They want showroom floor cars to be pure, right, like they were when you bought it from the dealer, without the add-ons. And I understand that, but I'll think to myself, you said you were open-minded, so I'll test it. I'll make comments or a reaction. They have the emoticons, smiley face or laughing face, crying face. That would be in opposition to what they're saying. And sometimes they become enraged. And then they'll cut you off and won't be your friend. And I said, and I don't feel bad about it really, because I was telling them up front. I was saying all from the get-go that you might not be as open-minded as you first believed, or as you announced. I said Choice versus JD, but Choice is a bourbon. Yes. Jim Beam, Choice, Jack Daniels, they're all bourbons. Or Jack Daniels, of course, markets itself as a Tennessee whiskey, but it's still a bourbon. The fact that they charcoal filter it with the Lincoln County process does not disqualify it as a bourbon. Joe says, Dr. Day seems like a decent guy and I like him overall, but I found it really distasteful when he was attacking you, but that was a long time ago. It was over a year ago. Bill McIntosh says, morning, Ron. Morning, Bill. Well, he apologized for doing that. And he said he felt bad about it. And he said he couldn't believe that he let these people like manipulate his thinking. But I knew all along that was probably the case because he was talking to me secretly anyway. And he was saying, you know, things like, it's strange that everything has to be one way with these people. You know, it's like a monolithic, like, what do you call it? Group think. Didn't they talk about that? Group think and sort of like a kind of totalitarian group mindset. And you'll get that where you can be part of a group and then you'll have an obvious leader of the group. But you have to comply with the leader or you're not going to be in the group. Or you'll be marginalized and eventually put out. But anyway, this is tough. And so we're going to have to do another taste challenge with Jack Daniel's number 7, you know, the green label. I think this is truly, I guess, but I got a 50-50 shot, right? So why even call it? But I think this is, the Jack Daniels. Wrong. It's the JT Boots. But like I said, I didn't know before I took the guess. It's just too close. Yeah, like John's saying, so you're paying $8.99 for a bottle of the Boots, and you're paying $24.99, you know, $22 to $24.99 for Jack Daniels, and you can't tell them apart. It doesn't take a genius to figure out which is a better value. But this is once. You got to replicate it. I'm not going to do that because it just takes up too much time. But if I did it 5 times, let's say this is once, we do it 5 times. Then we can get a handle on, is it really true that they're identical in flavor? Because there's too many variables just for once to say, oh, it's such and such versus such and such. But it's time constraints. It's practicality. It's like a basketball tournament, NCAA basketball tournament. It's a single elimination in that case, not even triple like we're doing here, triple elimination. And you can have a great team that has a bad game or their key player gets hurt and all these variables, so you're out. And look at college baseball, which is double elimination in the national tournaments. And in the World Series, it's actually triple elimination in some scenarios. It could be triple elimination. But then you have a team like Coastal Carolina winning the College World Series last year, national champions 2016. So that they're the best baseball team in America. They had the best success in that particular tournament due to a lot of being a good team with good players, obviously, but due to a lot of different factors. But if you replicated it, would they come out on top? It's unlikely. John says, wow, this is why you have to do these challenges. You just never know. You honestly never know. HQ Video Galore David says, I have some of the Kraken for today. Oh, that's the rum, right? I think that's the rum. I've never had rum to my knowledge. I know it's made with cane Sugar and molasses. I don't know. That seems too sweet. I drink enough sweet things like hot tea with honey in it. When I don't have honey, I use sugar. Oh, well. HQ video galore. He says black rum. Yeah, right. I thought that's what it was. I've seen a lot of commercials. Well, they used to have a lot of commercials. 47% alcohol. Wow, 94 proof. Just like the Seagram's Distillers Reserve Gin. That's good stuff, but you have to be so careful with it. That stuff will mess you up. Oh, let me tell you now, that Seagram's Distillers Reserve Gin, 94 proof. It's smooth. That's the thing. It's so smooth. And it doesn't have any of the harshness or off-putting characters of your typical gin. But it can just put you in a bad situation unawares. You didn't say, oh, I'm going to do this to myself. So it's dangerous. I was glad to get through the bottle. But it was so wonderful, you know, that thin body. I don't know, it's scary. That Kraken, I would think the body must be kind of heavy, huh? I don't know. Can't comment on rum. I never had it. The body here on these two is medium body. It gives you some warning, like cool it. You know, I only poured what, ounce and a half and an ounce and a half maybe, so we got 3 ounces. So, but the thing I notice about bourbon whiskey, it gives you some warning signs, right? It's and that bothers some people, the harshness, right? But that, to me, that's good in a way, because it's like upfront telling you, watch it, watch it, watch it. It's like with the lager and ale. You drink an 8% lager, it's chewy and heavy body, and it's saying, nah. I don't like them, I never drink them. But it does kind of warn you, you know, the natty daddies say, watch it, watch it, watch it. The Schlitz, Gold Bull, watch it, watch it. You drink these ales, top fermenting ales that are 8, 9, 10%, like say Duvel, was it 8.5? And it doesn't give you warning signs. It just say, oh, you know, how you doing? I'm so flavorful. The sweetness, the citrus, etc. Come on, you know, and then you're drinking it, and so it could catch you unaware. It's a lot easier, I think. So in some ways, the harsh upfront presentation might be a little safer. But it doesn't matter in my case, because I always drink the 4.5 to 6% beers on a regular basis, you know, your milder beers. So I don't really run into that. And these little liquor things, I just play around with those at early morning, and then so they wear off, you know, after. Well, they don't really have to wear off, because we're only talking about 3 ounces anyway. So, all right, well, thanks for watching this video production. I'm going to check on the news and see what's going on there. Even the ice beers at 6% sneak up on you. Yeah, that's right, because they're so mild, Bill. And they say, oh, yes, you know, and then you drink too much. David says, I remember I would always get E&J for the price. Yeah, E&J, VS, brandy. $9.99 is a great price, right? $9.79 in some stores. All right, thanks, folks. We'll do Jethro T boots versus Jack Daniel's #7 coming up soon in a few days. All right, thanks.